All right, legends, let's get into the results for the week, round 21. 6 rounds remain following this, and let's quickly get into some of the results out there and where our private group guys are in relation to the overall rankings to kick things off, just to show you how close things are up top. And Bevan, who we had on the channel last week, for those that watched that video or saw the thumbnail at least, moved back 2 spots from 19th to 21st with 1,046. So we had the Curran Nikora combo and had Garrick as well with the 10. No Cotter, but yeah, just that lower sort of mid-30s for a couple of those guys, and played Howarth in there. And unfortunately missed out on Blath, and that was the big worry and the big issue with having no guys there to loop, was the fact that you might have missed out. And I did see a lot of interchanges actually in emergencies with 40 plus on all 4 of those emergency numbers, which is pretty crazy. So he's at 17,730. Liam's in at 17,697 at 29th overall. Don, unfortunately, 1,005, just made him lose a couple of ranks into 34th. Mitch is at 43rd, so, and then Richard there. So 5 of our guys in the top 100, 87th for Richard, and then Nikki and Max just outside that top. Oh, actually, Nikki just inside the top 100 with a good update there into 98th, and then Max just on the outside. So let's go into those rankings and see where everyone's at. So, all right, so Matty B up top. The Des has the touch. Pete is in seconds, and 17,935. It's a pretty good spot. Well done to those guys, doing really good stuff. So Bevan is just a tick over 200 behind, which is not too far away, obviously. So anyone I think clearly in the top 50 is 300 and a bit behind. 6 rounds to go. Definitely is a spot where you can fight back to. And we look compared to mine. So I actually lost a couple of ranks this week. Not too bad at 463. Lost 32 ranks from 431. But I'm at 17,334, which is 601 points behind the leader. 334. Let's go into the top 50. Is 303 points behind 50th, which is not too crazy at all. And then, basically 220 points behind 100th. So that's where we're at in terms of that section there. And if you wanted to go a little bit further, obviously just scroll down and you can do that there. And then once I think tomorrow rolls around, we'll be able to do some looking at Team Analyzer as well, and where you're at with trades and where you're at compared to where you're at rank wise for the whole for the rest of the year, for the year that's gone, I should say. Anyway, back to my side. 463, as I said, overall ranking there. Got 1,015 in the end. So not the worst, not the best, as I said. We've all, you've all heard it already, but Cotter, I had, obviously Cotter, Garrick as the 2 losses, and then Watson, hopefully, would have hoped for a bit more. And then Cook, but kind of my point of difference guys, Cotter, Watson, Cook, all didn't perform super well, but I had a lot of other guys that I brought in, or, obviously Cleary I brought in was great. Karaz is a bit of a point of difference guy. Teddy, not fully owned. Kolomatangi 74, Jack Whiten 61, Plath held on with 64. So there's a bunch of good stuff, and trading in Starling obviously there. So a lot of good stuff around that, which is nice. And then I did have a little bit of an update with Sean Bloor overnight. He was 41 into 44, which was great there as well. So that helped me pick up a couple of extra points, and really, we're doing now obviously our private group head-to-head competition, and I'll say now before I get that, we'll finish that off tonight and get that going, but and show you guys where it's all at. But I ended up winning by 1, which is crazy. I was behind by 4 or 5 or something like that there, and just a couple of things changed in that update. I think he had Dylan Brown. That's Luke there. Sorry to Luke. I'd actually mentally prepared for losing. He was kind of keeping me updated with how it was at, and he said, he's like, I've got you by 5, and I was like, oh, so I'd mentally prepared for the loss. I was like, oh, hopefully there's some big updates. He had Dylan Brown at lost 2 or something like that. And then Bloor went up 3. So there's 5. I'm not sure where the other 1 point came from, but whatever it was, it ended up going in my favor. So I am sorry to Luke. I had already mentally prepared for it. So it was like an added bonus when he told me, because he actually beat me by 1 with a sad face. So sorry for that one. So I'm happy enough with that. Obviously only losing a few rankings, and we're still able to get through into the top 32 knockout stage, which is cool. But my main worry now is not having Cotter, not having Garrick. He has a bye anyway. I'm just sweating on Watson and where he's at, and obviously Galvin as well. So that's 4 guys potentially I could have out at worst. Definitely 2, could be 4, could be 3, could be 4. And if it is the 4 out, I'll probably make the 1 trade. If it's someone, if Galvin's out longer term, if Watson's out longer term, I'll make that trade. The other 2 will stay, Cotter and Garrick. But I'd make that one trade at that point and leaving me with 2 because I have 3 currently. But if they're both available, I'll just hold pat. And I've got enough to cover and a couple of guys to loop, obviously, there as well, given I've got 3 trades. I don't want to be making any more than 0 or 1 trade at the moment on a weekly basis unless I lose one of my top guys for a longer period of time. So 77k allows me to do a couple of things. If it was Galvin, guys like Fogarty come into the into the thoughts there, obviously at 735, and some other guys in there. Probably not going to grab a Crichton, but I could get an AFB or a Burton or anyone like that, which could be really cool. Preston, these type of guys could be lots of fun. So that's my side. Don't want to spend too much time on it just because there's only so many things we can do. But I did end up beating Scoop again. He was hoping for a bigger game. At least he had Cleary as captain. That was a win, but beat him by 12 on the comeback train. And shout out to Wilson. So he actually beat her by 1. That's classic. I'll rib her tonight when she gets home about that one. 981 for my brother, 1,014 for Ish, 1,003 for Scoop in that one there. And then my other head-to-head comps, I actually lost my first round of the JBFA head-to-head there to Nikki, I believe that is, 1,092. Cracking score there gives me another crack, but I lose that first one, obviously, in that one. And then the seeded league, I did get a win, but still in 12th. And I lost the Blake Taft Shield against Kossi, who came like 30th or 20th last year, which is cool. Battle of the Podcast. All right, I moved into 3rd spot. Unfortunately, Austin had a bit of a tough one. And the main issue there, and it seems like a lot of the amateurs guys, I didn't end up hearing a lot of their... Actually, the podcast was late. That's why I didn't end up catching it with some issues. And just be nice, guys, as well. That Mark had to put up a post today of people sort of ribbing him and getting into him about, obviously, the Cleary decision and then their podcasts not being able to be uploaded for a couple of times. I actually had to make that 3 times in the end. And it's hours of work, so yeah, be nice. But Austin obviously missed out on Cleary there, and then had Reed Marnie and Curran, so that was a tough game that Dogs won. Apart from Kiraz for him, anyway, it's enough. He had 904 on that one. Just tough. Thank goodness that he had Haas as captain with the 70 and has Fogarty with 74. So obviously he went down that route. Get Haas, get Crichton who had a low one as well. He has Garrick and Cotter like myself. Yes, it's a rough week. Thankfully, it's 100 points, not like 200 or something like that. Like I've seen other people really cop it. At least he had some guys that really dominated and had a good captain in the end with Haas. But not having Cleary this week was just a dagger. And that means Stewart ended up with a massive score there at 11.01. So he comes a little bit closer to us now. I had that bit of a jump on sort of 5th and below, but unfortunately not now. But I am closer to the guys up top. So Lucy there, 1,014, beat Lucy by 1. And then Daniel Long there in 250th, 1,023 for him. And that's actually without, Cleary on the interchange bench, Captain Haas. So thankfully he does have Cleary in that one for sure. But did I miss that from? No, Olsen definitely didn't have him on the bench, no. But yeah, pretty crazy effort to not captain Cleary and still get the 1,020 odd for Daniel. And I'm coming for you. I'm only 101 points behind Daniel and 26 points behind Lucy there. So we're on the charge, even with a sub-optimal week. We kind of hung steady and had a solid one there, which is good enough. We'll take that every day of the week, that's for sure. And then the the NRL Fantasy Analysis community, we have Jacob up top with Riley, Jarrah, Bevan in 4th, and Anthony in 5th. So shout out to you guys on that one. I think we'll keep it there. That's probably it for my team. Yeah, let's go to Supercoach side of things. And I lost a measly 27 ranks. So I'm at 2,508. Still got the 9 trades left. I've been banging them out recently. And as I've been saying weekly here, I didn't end up going on Watson the same week. So it's been a tough couple of weeks in my hooker stocks. But if I did go to Reed Marnie or something like that, it's been pretty poor on that front as well. But I'm very, very glad that I did pick up AFB 2 weeks ago because he's gone back-to-back tries, which has been great. But unfortunately, a lower one for Terrell Mayer, 39 there. Had Katoa for feeder. Both were great. Curran at 53, a little bit low. Didn't play Plath through 75, but that line break was great. But Captain Cleary obviously brought him in, picked up a really big score at 14-11, but it still wasn't enough to gain any ranks. Hughes wasn't like 80 odd and dropped to a 60, which was tough. Jaden Campbell with that ton, which was great after a low one last week, but massive the week before. So that was nice to own him, and he'll pause his price drop. Pause these price drops now with that 100. But holding Galvin over Brown ended up being a bit of a mistake, sadly, and he's probably copped an injury. Unsure how long that's going to be, but yeah, then having Garrick with these 15 was a bit tough. Osaka's 43, Holmes in Iroh's 84 and 104 was great. But playing Tungo over McLean thankfully only cost me 21 points. After McLean went over straight away, I was thinking, oh, do I just go for Casey? Because Tungo's really struggling and he continues to struggle. So I think I need to do something in that center wing spot. Sarko's been really down. Unfortunately, Garrick's injured in this one. And then Greg the Leg's playing up against Panthers this week. So yeah, I'm a bit worried with that center wing this week. We'll see how that one plays out for sure. But Tedesco with the 126 was great. And then Turbo, after going nuclear last week with his 170 odd, comes back to earth with a 45. And obviously comes up against a slightly easier opponent easier opponents in the upcoming weeks, but has a bye this week. So that's my side coming into the week. It was solid enough without going crazy, but 217 in K in the bank allows me to make some moves with the 2 trades this week, and I'll be going hard again just till we have a bit of a breakthrough week, because I'll have enough. If I 9 trades, I'll just go hard, and then make my final trades in the last week or two, and then set ourselves up from there. But the Pogmasters overall, I'm into 32nd, so kind of holding steady there, but some good scores up top still. Brandon didn't captain Cleary, I believe, for his 1365, still a solid score, and only lost 3 spots. But Mark from the Barnstorm was actually moved up in the 3rd spot overall, which is incredible. Luke moved up 35 spots into 23rd with a 1578, and you got Dave's Angels there into 27th with a 1468. So yeah, these guys up top are absolutely dominating there. Des on the SC Playbook moved into 227. Alex the Rugby League Realm, a massive score from him, 1622. I'm so jealous of these guys. How do we end up with such crazy scores? Even with a Robson 38 there and Stefano 51 in the starting side. You had Colin Matangi 74, which was good. Keeping Sam Walker ended up being the good play there. Trindle's 81, Brown 69, Kiraz 120 in the end. Wow, that was nice. Farnworth 66, and then Campbell and Teddy. Yeah, so nothing crazy. You obviously just missed out a few of those lower ones that I was in and around. Obviously, Viliami at 2800, so a tick behind me there. Guru at 1375, so he's 7900 overall, and then Timmy 1455 for him. So a better week into 12,700. But yeah, you need to go sort of 1,500 plus this week to really make a dent. And then the private group, shout out to the boys up top. Matt and Matthew still sitting up there, 1,011 overall. So I'm on the charge. Hopefully can try and push and catch up those guys. And then John in a 3rd, and then myself and the head-to-head side. I'm not going to actually go through the head-to-head team on here, guys. We're done. I end up taking the plunge. I was pretty well was going to lose. Turns out I actually would have, if I just kept on Captain Cleary, I would have won the first head-to-head matchup. It was basically Dane Laurie versus Isaiah Yeo, and he got to 50 odd in 20 minutes, but copped that injury. So I actually would have just beat him in that one in the end. But oh well, had to take the plunge that the Cleary would get like a 50 odd or something like that, and cop an injury, and I would have won both head-to-heads by taking the Tedesco 130 in the loop. So that's fine. I had to take that risk to try and make sure I get the wins, because I definitely would have lost the second one, and the first one, yeah, it turns out I would have won that one, but to win both, I needed Cleary obviously not to do that well, even though I brought him in. So that was the last minute play. That's why I got the 1342. Otherwise, I think I would have got a 14. I think I had like Hughes AE or something. So I had like a 1450, or I would have got something like that in the end. So that head-to-head team is unfortunately done. I'm out of head-to-head contention, being in 13th with 1 round to go. So we won't go through that on here. That side is unfortunately dead and buried. But let's go through the head-to-head side for fantasy now. 998 we ended up with. So Reed Marnie's 35, have Cotter, have Garrick. That slowed us down a little bit, unfortunately. Got Payne Haas, got Kolomatangi. That was nice with White and Teddy. Campbell 63. Madison's 59 was great. Starling and obviously Iro 47 with Fafita. Clear as captain. All good things. Nicholas 32. Reed Marnie's 35. The two low ones, obviously. Slowed it down a tick, and not playing Plath in the end. So I had the same as a few other guys there, unfortunately, in that one. But 998, not the end of the world. 5 trades to go for this side as well. So just got to check out where we're at. 998 is not crackingly good to get some wins here, but picked up a loss in the stragglers there. But that is complete now. with Cam winning that one, and he's into that knockout section. But Scoop, I had him in the Gargarov. He beat me by 5. Tough there. Second in the Serrato sucks. Cucks. Oh god. 12th in the Gargarov. That loss really hurts because I would need to get in the top 8 of that, but it's not probably going to be hard to do. King's Cup, I'm 4th. Got the loss there, but first in League of Legends, which is good. Lost in Liam's league, but 3rd in that. 3rd in the next one. 5th in the amateurs. That was a tough loss. Okay, so I need to try and get a win there, and 2nd in the sweat lobby. So yeah, 998. You're probably not expected to win, especially when you lose a few ranks. I was 2300, 2393 heading into this week, and then end up at 2541. So nothing crazy at all. In terms of potential moves, so I've got 5 trades remaining. What are we looking at? So I've still got Galvin, obviously no Watson. I have Cotter, I have Garrick, I have Sipley. So those 3 guys themselves definitely out, and we'll see what's happening with obviously Galvin there. So at worst, I still have 17 on the park, and Howarth was great. So he was a good trade in. Obviously, didn't play him, but Madison with a good score there, so we're happy to play him. It's really only like Blaze Talangi that we're not super excited about, but if I was to trade him, I have 500k available. Actually, we don't have to play Sipley this week, so I think overall we'll be fine heading into this week if you wanted to make 0 or 1 trades. But we'll see how obviously team lists shake out and work it out from there. So this week we are back to normal, 3 days until the next game. So we're back to Thursday nights, coinciding with obviously the NRLW, which is good fun. But that's where we're at on the head-to-head team. Didn't want to make it too extended, this results video, but a big thank you to all of you guys for being here. Let me know how you went this week in the comments. If you beat my 1015, let me know. Thankfully, I didn't lose too many ranks, and I'm still in a good spot heading into the final 6 rounds with 3 trades left, not 0, 1, or 2. So we can't complain with that. It's more just the availability for next week that I'm a bit worried about, and not having to make the 1 or 2 trades would be cool. So see you guys. Thanks so much for being here.